Hi friends, we're currently living in a time of social disruption. Our daily lives are being affected, our societal structures are falling apart, and many of us are left asking why? Why is this happening to us right now? How can we move through it? And what future lays ahead for humanity? Not only that, what makes this situation unique is, unlike other events that have happened on the earth, there's usually another party to blame for what's going on. But in this instance, it seems to be like an outside force coming to the earth and creating this disruption and change, which leaves many people more confused. So as a channel, I decided that I would use my gifts to communicate with the energies, the disruptive energies that are on the earth right now, to find out what their purpose is and what the future of humanity will look like afterwards and what we can do right now. I also decided to speak with the coronavirus itself and find out what its role was here on the earth and why it was here and how we can move through this time and what we can learn from it. So I'm about to read out my transcript of my conversation with the coronavirus. But first of all, I want to say that when speaking with energies, they can often appear in different forms, and those forms depend on how they want to, the potency of their message and how is the best way to communicate it. So sometimes that might be in a way that's a bit more forceful and angry to really get the message across, and other times it might be loving, kind and uplifting. So I'm just letting you know that in this instance, the coronavirus came through with both types of energy, more of the direct, angry, and then also the loving and peaceful. So that's how it wanted to come through to provide its message. And before I start, I also just want to say that I want to acknowledge the suffering and pain that a lot of people are experiencing around the earth right now. So loss of loved ones, being sick, dealing with the symptoms of being sick, financial loss. So I just want to acknowledge that often during these times of great disruption and change, there's often, a real sense of loss that has to happen on the earth first. So I continue to send my heartfelt compassion and love out to those people that are affected. So now let's get to the transcript with the coronavirus. So I encourage you to close your eyes, sit somewhere comfortable, and just allow the words to be absorbed. Message from the coronavirus. I'm here to do a cleaning of society. I'm here to cleanse your culture, your operations, and your social norms. I'm here to wake you all up, to point out directly into the face of every person around the world, as no one will be left unaffected, the shit that you have created, that you are all laying in. I'm here to point out all the ways that you have gone wrong and the disharmony you've created. I'm here to bring that level of fear, to bring you down to your knees so you can open up your hearts and have faith, to ask for help, to come together as a society and create solutions. I came here to bring you down on your knees. I came here because the pathway and the direction that you were heading down was self-annihilation. Your society was literally on the pathway to annihilate itself. No virus could be as strong as the force you were creating. I came here to bring you down on your knees for you to face your own shit head on. I came here to wake you up. I came here in service and sacrifice. Those that lost their lives made the ultimate sacrifice so your society could continue to move on. I asked, what is your time span for sticking around? I'll be here as long as you need me to, as long as it takes for you to wake up and see how destructive, selfish, and disconnected you've been. Some of you are starting to wake, while others panic and experience a sense of loss of livelihood, fear, and pain. I predict if things continue the way they are going, it won't be until May that you'll start to see noticeable decreases that will make governments feel safe to open up again. Or by the beginning of April, the numbers of those getting the virus will start to decrease. So this really depends on, how we act as a collective right now, this time frame, I was advised. So the virus was not here to wipe you out or kill you. It was here to wake you up. Sometimes darkness needs to face its own fear that it has been slowly and collectively building for itself. It needs to face its own worst enemy, and that is why I'm here. I asked, give us insights of what the world will be like after you leave. I would have achieved cleansing and eradicating of fears, because when you face your fears, you can stop carrying them. I also would have done an energetic cleansing and physical cleansing of the environment, the animals, and exposed in a very obvious and ugly way what isn't working. After society goes back to supposed normalness through this transparency, all the ugly systems that have exposed will never be able to hide again. The ugliness will always be there until it's dealt with. That is the gift I'm bringing you. I'm bringing you the gift of facing the ugly reality you created, and also the opportunity to transform the ugliness into something more fruitful and beautiful, where individuals can contribute to a society to be created by the power of the collective, not the power of the few tormenting and persecuting everybody else. That is what I'm ultimately here to expose at the core of everything, because that is what has been driving you into potential self-extinction and self-annihilation. I asked, how much concern is there of the virus death and those catching it? The frequency of those catching it will determine how it works for them. The more fear, anger, and bitterness inside of them, the more I have to work with. This is not a judgment of character. It could be karma, lessons that need to be learned, or their purpose on earth ending. There is no judgment of those that get the virus worse or those that don't, but those that fear it most won't come out the best on the other side. I'm here for a reason, and those that see the bigger picture on a soul level will know they signed up to have the virus, and through this awareness will get through it more easily. There are also those that made an agreement to exit through this form. So instead of seeing a great tragedy, see it as a way for them to be able to finish here on earth. So just know it's not a killing force for everybody, and that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm not here to wipe out the extinction of humans. I'm here to stop you from doing it to yourselves. Without an event of this scale, that is where you are heading. It wouldn't have happened for another 15 or 20 years, but you would have created an unlivable planet with unlivable people in unlivable structures. That's the way the earth was headed. So we are coming in now with the ability to shift the fate and create a new destiny that was prophesized previously. The coronavirus's message of power now. Continue to have faith, to come together, to practice ways of coming out of fear. Stop the panic. It's up to you individually and collectively to see the truth and potency behind this and bring more light into it. Then I'll be unable to survive and thrive as a virus. Have faith and trust you all have the resilience to be able to weather out the storm. It's like an unexpected season of turbulence. However, after the storm will be a new sense of expression and unity. A new earth will be born. Collective energy will be changed. New opportunities will arise. New platforms will be available to stand up and speak. New ways of doing things will be widely accepted and embraced. The forces and the powers being able to prevent this will be dismantled and no longer have the power or force that they once had. So that's a message from the coronavirus. Thank you for watching and for listening. I next will be posting my conversation with the disruptive energy that's currently on the earth and asking about the future of the financial system, politics, and also business. So thank you for joining me.